everybody, welcome to Manifesting with Tarot. I'm Mamita here on Astrolada channel on YouTube. Thank you for tuning in again. I hope you guys had a fabulous solar eclipse week. That was pretty interesting. I did think it was going to be all smooth sailing, and then I forgot my partner had a solar eclipse going on too, and I'm part of his life. So we did have some interesting things pop up that hopefully we can resolve because but we are now in the mid-eclipse week. Before we hit to next week is the lunar eclipse. So we're in that mid-eclipse week. I don't know if you watched Ksenia's video yet, but if you haven't, go ahead and pop over and watch it because it is really insightful and gives us a lot of information on what to expect this week. Also this week we do have Mercury retrograde officially starting in Leo and then moving backwards back into Cancer again. So a lot of this very reactive energy still is going to be reverberating with us for a while. So especially with the Mercury retrograde in Cancer, mostly in Cancer. So you know, we're still going to be feeling very sensitive and a little bit touchy with our words, things like that. And like I was saying kind of last week, that, you know, the emotional word vomit might be coming forward again. So trying to practice non-reactivity, really getting into a space and a practice, you know, even if it's like 3-minute meditation, whatever you can do, whatever space you can carve out for yourself this week, is going to be really important because we're getting on the lunar eclipse. We're saying goodbye to things, and it's more of an emotional time because it's the moon, right? So I thought this week we would do our regular community reading and then tap into our manifestation cards for the signs, what you can do to work with the energy this week, how you can step one step closer to the life and path that you want with tarot. So here we go. Cards for us. Oh wow, okay. Right up our alley. So we have the Devil card, which everyone gets really freaked out when they see it. Don't worry, I'll explain. We have the Sun card, yay, and then we have the Six of Swords. So this week, what we're dealing with first off is our fears, our addictions, and this card is actually ruled by Capricorn. You can kind of see the goat right there. So very fitting as we're moving into this lunar eclipse in Capricorn, that this is going to be what's popping up for us. So this is really going to be about for us putting light on what our fears are, right? Shining a light, shining this, and this could even, you know, relate to the solar eclipse that we just had too, right? So there's a lot of light being shed on things, and especially now as we're getting into the next chapter of this eclipse season, it's going to be about what we need to let go of. And it's going to be about those things that are no longer serving us, our fears, addictions, things that just have a hold on us. You know, even with fears and anxieties, there's things that I even in my own life, I didn't realize, I didn't put the word fear or the word anxiety on top of them, even though they were definitely controlling my life. And so there's this time, there's these spaces that we can put ourselves in where we actually are so close to the situation that we don't even see how much it's controlling us, how much it's creating these types of grasps in our life, almost if different parts of our life were a muscle that we're stressed and we're just getting tight and tight and tight until eventually that muscle and that whole mechanism doesn't work for us anymore. It's the same thing in our emotional life here. So really there's going to be a light shed on that, on these fears and addictions that we really need to ultimately let go of, with this Six of Swords coming in, being like, whatever is here, it's time to say goodbye to it. It's time to actively take the step and not look back, not not regret this this farewell, and this person is really moving on to a new beginning. And so I really see this as a really great week for us. It's a transitional week for sure. It's the letting go, and it's also maybe the information coming out, or even just the awareness, our own awareness being awakened to the fact that there are some things that actually might have had a grasp on us that we didn't even see, that they were in the dark before, and the sun came out, and that eclipse might have brought it to a clear vision of ourselves, to see that we were like, oh wow, I didn't even see that this is how I've been the whole time, or that this part of my life has been really stagnant because of my belief system, because this is the swords, right? It's our thoughts, it's thoughts that we have to really move away from here. That these ideas are no longer really serving us. And with this whole moving backward or moving away, this is also the Mercury retrograde with the thoughts, the Mercury, the swords coming in and being like, needing to readdress these things in Cancer, in this solar eclipse that we just had, and then on the opposite end being like, okay, this is where we're moving towards, but what are we letting go of as well? So really cool. I love it when the cards just really reflect the astrology. It makes sense and just gives us a little bit more of confirmation of where we're at. Okay, so let's get on with the signs. So Aries, what can Aries do this week to get closer to their goals? Manifesting a life that they want. Okay, Aries, wow. I feel like this happened to you last week. You got the card that was in the reading or something. Somebody did. Okay. So for you, there's a really sense that you're juggling with this, these addictions, these fears, these grasps on you, and you're not really sure, it seems, this week how to let it go. So there's going to be a sense of topsy-turviness as you're figuring out what you're letting go, what you're moving forward with, and eventually you're going to have to drop one to really focus and really give yourself a sense of direction and a path. But this week, it's okay to be in the in-between, right? It's okay to be in that mid period where you're trying to figure it out. So let this week be a week that you kind of ruminate on these ideas, that you really just sit with what you really want to say goodbye to. It might be that you just need to sit in this process for a second before you officially get there for next week. So let yourself just be kind with yourself as you're, struggling with what decision you're gonna decide to let go of, and really, once you hit that point, really just allow yourself to say goodbye, and acknowledge it, acknowledge the fear, tap into it for a little bit, but then, say goodbye to it, Aries. Okay, Taurus, what can Taurus do a step closer to what they want to manifest for themselves? Okay, nice. 2 in a row in the major arcana. I got numeral 2 and number 3. So you're definitely on a very straightforward path here. This week, Taurus, is going to be really about getting into your divine feminine side. We have the High Priestess, who represents coming in to our own intuition, coming into our deep sense of spirituality with the earth and the universe around us, really trusting ourselves, trusting, if you're clairsentient like me, the feelings that you get on your skin, or if you're clairaudient, that giant voice in your head that's going no, or this, or whatever it is for you, really start tapping into it. We all have these moments in our life where we look back and we're like, I knew it, and then you want to kick yourself, right? And if you knew it, it's time to start remembering that moment before, that feeling before. It might have been it might have been a voice, it might have been a feeling, it might have been a vision or a dream or something that you had that you just knew what was going to happen. You just didn't trust yourself enough, so you decided to let someone else's vision for your life or vision of the situation overshadow your own wisdom. So this week is going to be really getting in touch with that, allowing the space to trust yourself, going back and looking at all those situations and remembering what it was that was the little tiny morsel of moment that you knew, and that next time you have to learn to be like, oh, there it is, there's that moment again. I need to really pay attention to this feeling. And in tandem with that is the Empress card, who is all about the divine feminine and the earth manifestation, about love, about growth and abundance, about fertility. So this week is really going to be about your feminine, divine feminine nature, even for you guys, even for you to tap into the things that, we all have these polar male and feminine sides. Even some of us, like me, I'm a lot of Pisces, but I do have a lot of my other signs and very fiery signs and masculine signs. So I do have this undercurrent. My Venus is an Aries, so I have that undercurrent of masculine in me. And so for you guys, women and women, it's going to be really about tapping into those feminine energies really deeply. This is going to be your goal this week, to get you to the next step. Really cool. I love it when two beautiful cards come up together. Okay, Gemini. What can Gemini do this week to move further to the life they want to live? Okay, this week, Gemini. So there's going to be a feeling with the 9 of Pentacles and the 7 of Wands. There's a feeling that you're going to have to work a little bit. You're going to have to work for a sense of deep independence and stability, and a sense of, if there's something in a work project or anything that you're like, even if you're physically growing something in your garden, anything like that, in terms of material wealth or basic structures that you're trying to create in your life, there's going to be a little bit more energy that you're going to have to place behind it to achieve that this week. It's not going to be a week that you feel like everything is just coming to you very easily. It's going to be a week that you're going to have to stand up for yourself. You're going to have to put the extra energy in. You're going to have to set some boundaries. You're going to have to take your place to achieve this sense of contentedness. It's kind of what this card is. It's like this person is very, very well taken care of, but it's not without effort this week. If you want to have that for your life, if that's the goal that you're going for, it's time to speak up for yourself. It's time to energetically work for yourself. That means, enough of the planning, enough of the talking, enough of the bouncing ideas off of other people, and it's just time to actually make that first step, whether it's writing an email to someone or putting yourself out there or sending in a resume or actually showing up for an interview. There's a lot of times where we finally get the interview and then we're like, oh my god, I don't know, can I do this? And maybe this is above my head, maybe this is more than I can, whatever you've been feeling, just step into that power, step into that 9 of Pentacles energy where she's just like, you know what, I've got it all, but I had to work for it. So a lot of times when we work for things too, when we kind of pay for them with sweat, blood, and tears, we appreciate them more. So give yourself a chance this week, Gemini, to really work for it. Cancer. What can Cancer do? Okay. Really beautiful week up ahead for you, Cancer. A lot of cup energy, a lot of water energy. I know you just had this tremendous earthquake. Literally, we had an earthquake in California, but this tremendous earthquake in your sign, kind of rattling things up for you. And I know a lot of Cancers, and it's been a tough one for them. So this week, tapping into your loving energy, tapping into your innocence, tapping into a feeling of giving. Maybe, you know, this week will be about you like making a nice dinner for somebody, or like buying something for somebody that you thought of, or whatever it is. There's a really deep sense of love coming in. There's gifts of love coming in, messages of love and gifts of love here. And also a sense of just, of like beauty and like of things really starting to like blossom. You had that whole earthquake, and now the earth is rattled up, and now things are really going to start soothing out for you. And if they don't feel like they are, then it's time for you to take that action, and you going out and you deciding that you're going to like surround yourself with people that you want to be with, or surround yourself with you know, a friend or a lover, or going on a date, or whatever it is that really makes you feel like you're taking care of yourself this week, and doing the things that you enjoy doing, which is being around people that you love to be with, giving to people, nurturing to people, and also just allowing yourself then to like kind of accept the love that you receive back, because you're in the process of this giving. This is a lot of energy it's like you're starting the process of like, you want to get into that give and receive. It really comes from you first. So allowing yourself to tap out of that dramatic energy that's kind of been in your sign for a while now, and you starting the process for yourself. You starting the process for yourself that you are going to, you're not going to engage in all this chaos, and that you are going to step into a place of love. And I really believe that that's going to help you this week, Cancer. It's not over for you, and you have Mercury coming back into your sign, and so there's a lot of stuff going on for you. It's a lot of heavy energy. You have Venus there now too, making things better, making things lighter, offering a lot of love, and maybe making you feel a lot prettier. But you know, it's been a tough one, so give yourself the gift of just being with people that you love, and it's your birthday, so really just celebrate. Leo, you have the Sun and you have the Ten of Pentacles. Wow, this is a great week for your finances, for your stability. You're just like feeling like awesome this week. This is a good week to really also speak your truth about really getting to a playful space too. This, you know, this Sun card is a lot of 5th house energy. It's a lot of Leo energy. There's even a child on it. There's a sense of things growing from the Sun. There's a sense of creativity, of passion coming through. And then there's this deep sense in the Ten of Pentacles of really being able to share that with people, with family, with your community. So this is a really great week for you. You're just gonna be feeling awesome. You're gonna be shining. You know, that Mercury retrograde is starting in your sign, but it seems that you know, with that, there might be some truths that come out. There's some type of like Mercury comes and makes you kind of like, you know, shine a little bit harder. And I really see this as you being able to share this with people too, sharing this creative energy that maybe gets you to a space too of a financial, you know, you might get some good news financially this week as well. Or you just might feel more yourself, more grounded, more in a space that you feel very like, you know, your routine's on point. You are, you know, hitting all the all the little checkpoints this week. You're dotting your I's and crossing your T's, and everything's just kind of feeling like it's going into a nice flow with you this week. And you also might just get some information coming on about work opportunities, or just finding more information about how you can structure your life a little bit better. And this might come from other people, this might come from your community, this might come from your family, things like that. So really keep a lookout and enjoy those conversations, and enjoy this really beautiful shiny week. Look at that, it's just glittering. Okay, so Virgo, what can Virgo do this week? Oh, that was quick. Okay. Nice. Virgo, this week is about sharing in love, in partnership, and then from that feeling of being able to be in partnership and work with somebody, you're gonna really feel a deep sense of self-esteem that is rising up and making you feel very confident, and that's okay. You know, I feel like a lot of times we think that it's wrong to ever need any type of validation from others, and you shouldn't rely completely on others. No, you definitely cannot rely all of your life on someone else's opinions or someone else's love for you. But there is a lot of but we are community-based creatures, you know, or a lot we're pack animals, you know, so we get along with so well with other pack animals like dogs. You know, we like to be in community, and we like to feel that we're loved and accepted. And so this week, allow yourself, if there's any compliments that you're getting, or any or if someone's interested in you, or anything of that nature, or if someone just wants to collaborate with you on something, allow yourself to really just feel proud of yourself, and allow that to really to build up your self-esteem this week. You never know what that type of relationship could take you. You never know what that type of self-esteem could then build you up to do. Any type of project that you might do from that type of really deep pride that you then have it within yourself, Virgo. So allow yourself. And I know Virgos, you know, they have these they're like an onion, right? They have a lot of layers. But allow yourself to be affected by it. Positive way. Okay. Libra. Be a sense for you, Libra, of really learning about how to get on a really you know, it's interesting for you because you are the sign of balance, and I was gonna say there's the learning of becoming balanced again, of getting on your feet. Someone might actually come in for you this week and give you some really gold information about how to get this, and you might feel like an apprentice as a result of it, an apprentice of getting back on track, or there might be a job opportunity or something, some type of structural thing, or you know, earth elemental thing that the earth rules for you, that is going to really come in and give you a deeper sense of understanding of structure, with this 10 of Pentacles coming in again, right? But this Page of Pentacles is really about the learning process. It's about it's kind of not such a child energy. It's not like an ace, or it's just like a inkling of that process. But this page is really about you know, learning and making mistakes, but also in a way being a student to this element. And with the 10 of Pentacles kind of reiterating the situation, there could be a sense that you're learning from family, or learning from, you know, any type of a school structure, or you know, an agency, anything like that, or even from just a community that knows better. Maybe you tap into a group or something on Facebook, or whatever it is, that you really start learning things that you didn't really learn before. So there's this building block this week of maybe information coming in for you that has to do with getting really balanced again, and maybe ways that you can deepen or restructure the way you look at your finances or the work that you're doing, or even just the routines, the structures in your life that you set up with people, or even just the day-to-day work. So something like that is coming in where you're gonna really feel like, oh, I didn't know that, or I'm a student of, you know, that you feel like you're a student again in some sort of way, but it gives you a sense where you can then build again, it gives you a stronger foundation is what it's really going to give you. So pay attention to those little nuggets of wisdom that you get throughout the week, because you know, you never know in the future how that's going to come back and really be like, you know what, that moment, you know, it changed everything for me. It was that moment where I really learned about money, or I really learned about how to structure my day, or I learned, you know, or I got this job opportunity and I didn't think much of it, but you know what, it sent me on this completely different path. So yay. Okay, Libra and then Scorpio. Wow, my goodness, another 10 of Pentacles coming up for us, and this time with the King of Swords. So a lot of people this week are tapping into, you know, and maybe it's this Leo energy with the Mercury going to Leo, right? With that sense of like deep triumphant with gold, right? A lot of gold coming through. So, and also just with the structural, you know, going into Capricorn this week, that would also make sense for us that, you know, these deep structures that we're talking about, which the 10 of Pentacles is the pinnacle of that until it reaches the King, really, but that's the personification of it. So this 10 of Pentacles being our the earth sign that's really being shined on this week. But anyway, back to your reading. Sorry, I just nerded out for a second, seeing like, how is this happening? So what is this really meaning on a deeper level? But back to you, Scorpio, what's happening here? So again, the 10 of Pentacles for you, your community, and sense of structures, business, you know, your money, things like that, once again, are coming up for you. And then the King of Swords. So this is really about getting really mentally strong, not letting anything tell you, that you can't, or that your fears come through. Again, we did have that, you know, in the ultimate community reading, and I would go back again for that for you, Scorpio, because it was about our fears and things like that and letting things go. This is then about getting really mentally strong, because when we let go of our fears, ultimately we have to, like, you know, mind over matter. Sometimes our mind likes to play tricks on us, and we believe things just because we have the thought of it. And it's not necessarily true. We create all these sort of scenarios where we prove it to ourselves. But, you know, it's just like bad science. If you're trying to find the conclusion, if you're suspicious that this is where this is coming from, then all your evidence is going to shift to it, and of course you're going to prove that point right. So you can't do that to yourself this week. This week is really about you being strong mentally, so that you can build and step into these structures that are going to be really highlighted coming up for you, so that you can really build these structures, so that you can get really clear and have this type of like abundance coming in for you. So really make sure that if you really want this, if you want that life, if you want to like if you want to be a boss here, it's going to be about getting very, very mentally clear for yourself, not letting any of the BS, sorry for my language if there's children in the room, not letting any of that type of BS get in the way, any of those cruddy thoughts, and just be like, you know what, that's not my business. This is, you know, but what is my business is stuff that I can control, and that is what your mind, and that's how you can then create the life that you want. So get very clear, be strong, and I know you are strong. You guys have such, like, Scorpio's mind is just, it's always, I have a lot of Scorpio friends. It's always fascinating to me just to go watch their thought process and watch them really like devour somebody. So, oh, I think my doorbell just went off. So, okay, Sagittarius. right, Sagittarius, so you're going to get a lot of gold this week out of resting. It's going to make you feel very much, way more fulfilled than you were before. If you're really feeling burnt out, it's okay this week then to just like let things go a little bit. Even if you feel really motivated or you feel like you're on these deadlines or whatever, it's not going to be in your best benefit to push. You're really, you might like snap instead. So wherever you can carve out time for yourself to meditate, to just be by yourself as well. If that's just like 5 minutes every morning, sitting outside or like stopping by a park before you head home from work or whatever it is, allowing yourself, or even on your lunch break or whatever time that you have that you can find for yourself, even if it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever you can do, to just give yourself some alone time, and a feeling that you can just quiet the mind, and it'll really give you a lot of happiness. It's going to make you feel a lot more like you're on the upswing again. So if you're experiencing anything like that, Sagittarius, just allow yourself to enjoy in the nothingness of just being. Totally fine. Okay, and Capricorn. Okay, Capricorn. Okay, nice. So this week, really give yourself a sense of pride when it comes to any type of like emotional conversations or things that you've been through. Allow yourself to give yourself a little pat on the back. Something that you might have had to experience this week, or any type of like relations or whatever it was that kind of left you feeling all the feels. Giving yourself a feeling of, you know what, like, I'm not going to stoop down that low. I'm going to really give myself a sense of, I deserve better than this, but I'm not going to let myself reflect off of anybody else's energy. And then allowing yourself to feel proud of that, allowing yourself to kind of give yourself a pat on the back because you stepped into that. So if it's a struggle for you this week, if you are feeling highly reactive, decide, no, I'm going to be a king or I'm going to be queen, or whatever royalty you want to put on your head, or crown you want to put on your head. Just step into that mature energy where you say, you know what, and this especially for king energy, it is earth energy in the sign of water, or in the element of water. So this is really giving like a solid foundation to those like emotions that come up this week, or even like trusting your higher intuition, things like that. But then really giving them a backbone to rely on, and allowing yourself to be proud of that process, and maybe even teaching other people how to do it. If there's somebody that you're seeing struggling with it, being like, you know what, I did. And just, giving somebody some type of like healthy perspective, because a lot of times we get like bad advice. People are just like, you should feel this way, and then just hypes you up more to feel like in a lower vibration. So you being the example for other people this week of stepping into that King Cup energy, which is just being highly mature. Okay, Capricorn, now we are going into Aquarius. Okay, so Aquarius, you're so close to your goals this week. You're so close. You're almost there. You're not there yet, but you're so close. And so for you to get there, it's going to be really about speaking your truth very, very sensitively, if I could say. Speaking your feelings, speaking the way that things are actually making you feel, rather than trying to like get into the rational, typical Aquarian behavior of detaching, but only doing the rational. No, this week, your final step, your final hurdle is going to be about you stepping in to telling people how you actually feel. And even stepping in, maybe before that, is actually going to be like you going back in your own head and deciding like, okay, what am I feeling? What is this? You know, I can, and like kind of backtrack. A lot of times we have a thought that comes before the feeling. So okay, you have the thought, or this is the situation, backtrack. What was the thing that started that thought? What was the thing that gave you that projected you into that idea anyway? And then you might find, oh, okay, I was feeling insecure, or I was feeling unhappy, or I was feeling afraid, or I was feeling whatever. You might find it. So this week, speaking your truth is your final hurdle. And your truth, your emotional truth, speaking your emotional truth. I'm sorry guys, we've had a lot of interruptions today. I already can feel the Mercury retrograding coming strong. So, Pippin! So. And last but not least, recentered now, Pisces. Okay, Pisces, so interesting week ahead for you. So there's a sense of letting go and yet still planning ahead. So there are things that you might discover this week that kind of come crumbling down for you, that you had faith in, that you did plan ahead for, or that you thought were going to be key players for your life, that you did the work in. And there's going to be a sense of having to go back then and replan and reorganize and relook at it again. And this is, perfect energy of what we're tapping into with the Mercury retrograde, so it's perfect time to do it. But just letting yourself be aware that there is that thing that, you need to expect, that maybe you had big hopes and dreams for this thing. And now comes the day for it, and it doesn't look like you thought it would, or it doesn't work out like you thought it would. So allowing yourself to be open to that process. I know there hasn't been a lot of great news for you. If I can remember last week too, it was a little bit of a rough week, but allowing yourself to at least be prepared that this is going to happen for you. So it's better, at least when we have the news, that we know this is coming up, so that we can act accordingly and prepare accordingly. So letting yourself let it go and get back to the drawing board, Pisces. Okay guys, thank you so much for coming back with me at Manifesting with Tarot here on Astrolata. If you do want to book a reading with me, please do so. I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear what you're dealing with. Whatever the story is, I'm here to work with you to get you to what you want, to get you to the life that you want. So please contact me on the astrolata.com readers page, and let me know what I can do for you or what you're looking for, and if you need help on a consultation before you book a reading, which one is good for you, I'm happy to do that. I have my As Above, So Below reading, I have the Celtic Cross reading, and I do have the Venus Exalted reading as well, which are really great for love readings. So let me know, guys. I will see you next week. Have a great mid-eclipse week, and I will see you next time, just in time for the lunar eclipse. Bye, guys.